Welcome to the Billionaire Lifestyle Podcast with your host, Emmett Muckles. Please visit iTunes, Stitcher, or emmettmuckles.com to listen to all the episodes for free.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Billionaire Lifestyle Podcast with Emmett Muckles. Today is a day that God gave you another chance. Today is a day that you can become whatever you want. You are a billionaire as deemed by the universe. The universe deemed you a billionaire 30 days after an egg and another component from a guy got together and started to dance. 30 days in, you were over 1 billion cells and you hadn't hit the planet. Just have to let you know that every episode so that you remember how to be a human being. That's out the way. Today, I have cosmetic chemist, entrepreneur, speaker, beautiful individual, Ginger King. Hi, Ginger. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine. Nice to meet you.
So, I start every interview off with the same question for everyone. What got you to now?
What got me to now is my passion for beauty. So I have been in the beauty industry for over 25 years. I have touched every single aspect of beauty.
And you're a cosmetic chemist. Most people don't know what a cosmetic chemist is. Everybody knows what a chemist is, but how does it relate to cosmetics?
Okay, so I'm sure you use some sort of creams and lotions, and I'm the one that put together the formula in there for you. But it's a little bit different than just cooking. A lot of people think, cosmetics chemist is kitchen science. It's actually more than that. Because when a chef cook you something, they only need to make sure you don't get food poison, you don't get a diarrhea, right? But as a cosmetic chemist, I actually will have to ensure the product is safe and also stable over 2 years of shelf life and opened. So it's a lot more complicated. And there are a lot of regulations, like there are there are certain ingredients you cannot use in the United States. There are certain ingredients you cannot use in Europe. So there are global regulations. It's far more complex than just kitchen science. So there's a thing called cosmetic chemist, and we make you beautiful.
So I want to ask this question because I've gone to Europe. I've spent a great deal of time in Europe, and a lot of their overall products seem to be cleaner. Are they more, is it harder? Are they harder on the ingredients in Europe versus the United States?
Absolutely. United States only ban 11 ingredients, while compared to EU, it's about 1,400.
Wow.
Yes. So that's a big difference.
Wow. So you can't just take a product that you come out for the United States and say, okay, just put it in boxes, put a different label on it, ship it to Germany.
No, you cannot do that. And also everything needs to be ordered. You have to go through authority agency. So they will check your ingredient label. You will check their packaging copy. They even check your website. Wow. So you need to make sure everything is compliant before you can sell outside of the USA.
Ah. All right. So how did you get into this industry? As a young person, you're thinking about your life and you're saying, I like beauty, I like fashion. Most people go into retail.
I actually started in retail as well, but let me backtrack a little bit. I was actually born into beauty because my mom was the first woman brought Shiseido boutique from Japan to Taiwan. But growing up, I never realized that had a big influence on me. So I've been watching her doing facials on other people. And until I came to America from Taiwan, I was 16 years old. I started loving makeup because I see the transformation of what makeup can do for women. And I was like, I want to become a makeup artist. This is so fulfilling. I love those before and afters. You get an instant, it's like, wow, I just love the transformation. But then because I'm Asian, it's very hard for me not to go to college and become a makeup artist. The expectation is if you don't get a PhD, at least a master's degree. So my dream of becoming a makeup artist kind of got shattered. So I said, well, fine. Then since science is considered like a good occupation for Asians, so I was like, I'll become a cosmetic chemist. I will be the one make the products. How's that? So I become a cosmetic chemist. However, in the meantime, because of my passion in beauty, I work at the retail counter. I work for Estee Lauder as a makeup artist.
Oh, so you
at the beauty counter.
That's good. So you kept it. You figured it out. And this is what's really awesome is you had some limitations. They weren't really limitations. They were something that's going to make your world bigger. But you had this single vision where like, this is what I want to do, but you made it work. And, in saying that, how can most people make, whatever career they have, how can they own it like you? Because there's so many choices in this world.
Well, you have to have the passion, as most of people say, because if you really love what you are doing, you'll never work a day in your life. I know that's cliche, but that's also if your passion cannot be your vehicle to have a more healthy, wealthier lifestyle, a billionaire lifestyle, then you need to think about what can you do around your passion to make it work. Because even though people say money cannot make you happy, but money buys you freedom. So whatever vehicle you choose, it has to make sense. I admire people just want to become an artist. That is fine. But you also need to be prepared. Not all artists make money. And it's just realistic that, money is very important in this world.
Oh, very important in this world. This is what's so cool. And I was so excited about talking to you because when I go on Instagram, I follow various people, but there are 3 things that seem to be, or actually 2, that seem to keep popping up, which is health and wellness, which is women working out more than men, and makeup tutorials. There are so many makeup tutorials. There are some guys who are doing makeup tutorials who do it better than any woman I've ever seen. How have you seen that help your business? Because there's so many makeup companies, there's so many health and wellness companies. How does that help you to stand out?
Well, because health and wealth, they are related, and also beauty, because first impression is also everything. So people do want to have a nice appearance. What makes me stand out is because I'm not only a beauty expert, I'm a makeup artist also, as I mentioned, but I'm also a cosmetic chemist. So I have the 360 of the beauty industry. So I I don't pretend like I know it all, but I'm kind of a little bit above.
That's what I'm talking about. Like who is she? Like, I'm the cosmetic chemist, so you can't touch me. But I've never come across someone who said they're a cosmetic chemist. And most people, even if they probably are in the cosmetic or the health and wellness, they'll just say, I'm a chemist and I just put stuff together or yada, yada, yada. But you really own it. You say, this is my thing right here. I'm going down. But with that, this is one of the, a business that women get into really hard, really fast, which is beauty. And I see a lot of women starting these beauty and cosmetic companies. How do you start one of these? Because it's not just you go in the kitchen and make your own stuff. You either come up with a formula that gets passed and costs a lot of money to do, or you become a representative for a cosmetic line. So how does someone go about doing that?
If you want to have your own beauty business, there are basically 3 ways of doing it. The first one is the least expensive way, but also it's not for the long run, which is to private label other people's product. There are private label companies that they already have their creams and lotions made available. You just put your sticker over and you sell that product. That's number 1. And you only need to buy like minimum of 12 to 24 products. So It's something that you can start with. The second choice is most of the indie brands do if you don't have a lot of budget is you work with a contract manufacturer, the cosmetic contract manufacturer. They will do everything for you, but you will not own the formula and you are kind of tied to them because they want to hold you to their formula. You'll never leave them. So that's the second choice. The third choice is the most expensive one. However, it's the best one in the long run to save you time and money. That is to work with a cosmetic chemist, a consultant like what I'm doing. I help people to build their own beauty brand from concept to launch. Because when you work with a consultant, you get to own the formula, you get to have a customized formula that is truly yours. So if you happen to do very well, you want to look for outside investment, they will consider if you have intellectual property because you own the formula that will already make your business more valuable than you work just with a contract manufacturer or just with a private label. So determine on your vision. If you just want a side hustle to make a little money, private label is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you want really go big, life is short, do the fullest possible, work with a consultant.
So with that, can you license? So let's say I want to start my own Emmett man beauty line, right?
Yes.
I come to you and say, I need a lotion for man beauty because we get rusty and ashy all the time. So I need to take care of that. And you're like, okay, I can handle it. But I don't have a lot of money, but I will have a lot of money. Do you do licensing?
I don't do licensing. There isn't really licensing. Licensing is more for apparels. So what you do is you call this a private labeling. You just, find a place that will give you their product. You put your label on it. You just pay for the product. It's not really licensing. It still can consider it's your brand. But if you come to me, if you want to do really specialized, the first thing I do is branding for you. What does branding mean? I will actually help you to map out what's your brand about, what is the tagline, and how can you differentiate from this very competitive marketplace. I will create a special Emmett complex. So when people think about your brand, people will only come to you because they know only Emmett has this special complex that I put together for you.
All right. I'm going to go back to the science for a second here before we continue with the business. Is there a difference in skin depending on the melanin content?
There is a difference in skin in terms of the thickness. For men have thicker skin. In terms of the melanin, people with more melanin also have a little bit oilier skin and sometimes can be ashy. So you do need a better exfoliation and to prevent any like a blockage because of the oil content in the sebum production. And even though if you have more melanin skin, does not mean you don't need some protection. You will still need to wear sunscreen.
Yeah, I remember I used to take a shower, right? And I would wash with one of these kind of rough cloths. And then I would rinse the cloth out, like in the bathtub, and it would look like I'd been dirty. And then only years later did I realize that was all dead skin.
Yes. Our cell will shed every 28 days. So especially when we get older, it doesn't shed as fast as you want. So you do have to help with exfoliation. And part of the reason why men always look younger than women is because you are shaving. Your shaving is a form of exfoliation.
Oh, I didn't, my wife always says, she's from Europe and she's much younger than I am. And she always says, I always said, you're too young. I can't marry you. You're too young. And she says, I don't know why. We're going to age at the same rate because you don't age like I do. Is that the difference between like some people you see who have melanin in their skin? They seem to age a little different than those who have less melanin?
Yes, they will, because the built-in melanin is a factor of some protection compared to people like has 0 to very minimum melanin.
Yeah.
I mean, they will need huge sun protection because those type of skin, they burn. They don't just, tan, they will also burn too. And that's huge damage to the skin, and that will cause wrinkles.
Okay. Thank you for that, because, no one's ever talked about that. I've never heard anybody break these things down as to why these situations occur for different people. I never realized that men have literally thicker skin than women because they, that's actually a term. Like, you have to have thick skin.
Yeah.
Which means be masculine.
Yeah.
Now it makes sense. All right. So what are the common mistakes that people have when they're starting a business besides undercapitalization?
The brand name. When you start a business, make sure you can secure your .com and also secure all of your social media handles. I have so many people come to me. They say, I already have my LLC established. I already secure a website. And then when I see their website, it's not a .com, it's a .shop or .net. Yeah. I was like, why? And they said, well, because somebody else already get it, but that's okay. I can use .com or .shop or .net. I say, no, you're putting money on the table, because when you talk about a name, you don't always say whatever .shop or whatever .net. People automatically go to .com. Yeah. And especially if whoever have that, the URL is in the same industry, you are losing it big time.
Yeah. Is that, what else do they have? Because I know branding is really important, but I know many people, especially in the United States, we are not taught to be business owners. We are not taught to be entrepreneurs. This country was founded because it needed workers. They started with slavery. They had free labor, but then they started importing people, immigration from Europe, and they did it because they needed workers. But some of them couldn't read and write, so they made the public school system, but it was to be a worker. So what do people need to know when starting a business, not only in cosmetics, but just in general? What are some of the things that you had to learn?
I actually have an MBA as well in marketing, but you know what? I'm sorry to say that education is good for credibility, but it's not real, because if all the teachers that they taught us how to do business, if they are successful, they won't be teaching in school.
That is so real. That is the best statement I have heard. I've always known that. And when I went to college, I chose a college that taught me a trade versus going to a degree college. And I've been able to do so many things because I got specific knowledge that I could expand out. And I didn't understand when they said, you're going to have to take psychology and you're going to have to, I was like, that doesn't deal with, I like science. I want to do this science. And they were like, you'll get to that probably 3-4 years. I'm like, nope, going to a trade school. Anyway, that's enough about me. So after you contact Ginger King, you get your private label, you have your domain name that reflects your Instagram, that reflects your Facebook, and you say, I'm going to launch. What do you do after launch?
After launch, public relationship is very important after launching the product, because any retails that you go into, even though a lot of people want to start on their own, like a website as e-commerce, but you need to have noise in the marketplace. And if you want to go into any retail store, they want you to have presence, because they don't want to put your product on the shelf and gather dust. They actually want to use your PR power to bring customers in the store and asking for that specific product. So the best known products actually beats best. If you have something that is so great, but nobody knows, it's not going to help you. So you need to make the noise yourself.
So, and that can be really difficult because, especially in the beauty, because there's so many up and coming. I mean, we all know L'Oreal, we know this, that, and the other. We all know the big brands. And there's a thing that people say, do I really need this? How do you make that splash, or how would you suggest someone make that splash?
And this comes to your proprietary complex. It's very important. The reason why people come to you, and that's part of the branding. And you need to be able to crystallize your vision so differently. And it's also very good if you can start going in with a social mission, because people no longer just want to buy a product. People want to know when they buy a product, it's contribute to something. For example, I launched my own brand last year. And the social mission is I actually donate part of the proceeds to Suicide Prevention Foundation. So yes, you have a choice of buying beauty product, but don't you rather want to buy a beauty product that has meaning to it? Don't you want to buy beauty product that's actually tied to a social mission? So that would be the differences. And of course, anywhere that you can get your word out, like such as on podcast, on TV interviews, on magazines, that is how you get your word out. That is without advertising. PR doesn't need to pay, but PR, you need to have a lot of hustle.
Yeah. See, many times it requires something that I find in people who immigrate to the United States. People who immigrate to the United States see the opportunity, know they have to hustle, know they have to grind, know it's not going to come overnight. And I kind of say it's like when you're born into a family who has money, you kind of take it for granted. Versus the orphan kid down the street is brought in and they're like, I'm taking advantage of every opportunity that's available here. What are some of the things that you have to have with mindset and persistence to keep going? Because there's a lot of competition and you're small in a big pond.
Yes. Actually, when clients come to me, the very first thing I ask them also, besides, the website, whatever, actually that's down the road, the very first thing I ask is, what is your why? Why are you doing this? If you're doing this for the pure reason of making money, sorry, I got to tell you, you be prepared to bleed in the first 3 years. Yeah. Because brand building is not easy. So if making money is the reason, I'm sorry, you may not be the right client for me. But then if you are telling me you have a very specific reason, and if you are not making money because of your love, because of your passion, because of your why, that is a motivator of why you should stick to what you started. So knowing your why is extremely important, and also be very intentional of doing things. There are this word intentional has never occurred to me because I'm kind of a little bit go like whatever comes, yes, I work hard, but I never really put an intention. I never put an intention in terms of relationship, because I think everything should be just pure, just, serendipity just should be happen that way. But then I've been taught that everything you do, you should really have an intention, because everybody have the same 24 hours. Yeah. You want to put the best foot forward. So you have to be very intentional in things you do.
As a woman, and as someone who's not born in the United States, do you feel you had more obstacles or less obstacles in your business?
It's very interesting, even though beauty industry, you would think there are more women, right? But no, a lot of beauty companies are run by men.
Yeah.
So it is still, I think that being female is still hard. And this is why there are a lot of associations nowadays. They want to have female owners, female founders, just because there are still some equality, even though I would say it has been much better now compared to 10, 15 years ago, but it's still hard. And being from outside of the country, of course, in the beginning, it's like, people can tell you have an accent.
Yeah.
So there will be, people will not be as friendly for some reason. So so there are obstacles, but that's fine. It's like nobody is perfect.
Right.
Because I can equally tell the person, whoever is like discriminating, hey, at least I know 2 languages. You don't even know my language, right? Actually, I know 5 languages, but.
Yeah. So, let's say that you and we don't know each other, but we're approaching this building and we're going through the door. I open the door for you and you walk in, and we both go to the elevator and we're going up to the 27th floor. And, I make small talk and I look over at you and ask, what do you do? What's your name and what do you do? And your response is?
I'm Ginger King. I'm a cosmetic chemist. I help you to build your own beauty brand from concept to launch. I can also help you after you launch.
God, you got that so good. Some people stop. Some people are like, with that, do you do any online talks? Because, COVID kind of messed everything up for some people in their business model. How can people reach you and find out more about what you offer?
I have many ways of contacting me, but the easiest way I find is you can follow me on my Instagram, the Beauty Shark Ginger. And my email is actually on my profile as well. So it's the Beauty Shark Ginger.
Do you also do any live talks or anything to, tell people about what you offer and what the business has to offer for them?
I don't really do that. I should do more of the live videos. I used to do a lot of speaking engagement before COVID, but I haven't been out for almost 2 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank you so much for being on the Billionaire Lifestyle Podcast.
Very appreciate for this opportunity.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, remember, this is the Billionaire Lifestyle. You are a billionaire. I told you, 30 days after your inception, you were a billionaire. And you know what you started off with? You started off with love. Because for you to even start the process of becoming a human being, it starts with the energy of love from the universe. It may not seem like it was like that way, but that is the truth. It starts with love. You have to continue love as a human being. And what I mean by human being is HUE, man being. We are people under the sun. We all have a color, so that's our hue. We are in the image of man, and we have issues because of the being part. They say it's a journey, they say it's a travel, but it just is, and it doesn't come with a manual. You have to love thyself. All the doctrines say, love thyself first, and then the love will spread from all of your chakras to everyone else, and you will bring those and that love into your life. But you have to love yourself first instead of looking for love from the outside. How to start? Start with the physical. Because if you're not there, start with the God body that you were given. When you get out the shower, remember this. Drop your towel, walk up to the mirror, flap your little chicken wing and all the moles and things on, and appreciate those. If you really want to know how powerful you are and how connected you are, get up close to the mirror, open your eyes really wide, and look at that little thing called the iris. It is like nebulae in the sky, as above, so below. It will contract and expand, bring in light and love. When you see someone else with a nebulae in their eye, like the one in the sky, treat them with love, honor, and respect. Till next time, love you all. Peace.